Your headlines: the Center for Disease Control is advising that people avoid cruise travel regardless their vaccination status. Law enforcement officers are on their toes these last few weeks as the country records a number of shooting incidents, and an insight into the National Health Update by Honorable Minister of Health and Honorable Premier. From the PTV Broadcasting Headquarters in Providencial is your number one source for news. I'm Erica Pinales, delivering the latest from across the country this Friday news edition right to your door. Newswatch starts now. On Thursday, December 30th, 2021, a press conference was held by the Honorable Charles Washington Mizik, Premier of the Turks and Caicos Islands, and Honorable Jamel Robinson, Minister of Health and Human Services, speaking on the health updates and new measures. Here's the latest. The press conference commenced with national epidemiologist Dr. Shandy Malcolm sharing statistics on COVID characteristics and the target audience in the TCI from the tests they've performed. She explained that, quote, in terms of demographics characteristics, 52% are female, 8% between 0 to 9 years, 16% between 10 to 19 years, 19% between 20 to 29 years, 17% between 30 to 39 years, 16% between 40 to 49 years, 11% between 50 to 59 years, 9% between 60 to 69 years, 4% between 70 to 79 years, and 1% over 80 years. They've also noticed that a large proportion of the cases, and 63%, are visitors. End quote. The Minister of Health and Human Services, Jamel Robinson, shared the new measures approved by the Cabinet in their 39th meeting on Wednesday, 29th. The Cabinet has approved the lowering of mandatory testing to 2 years old and above for visitors arriving and unvaccinated residents returning to the TCI. This will be effective on January 14, 2022. It has also approved the extension of existing COVID-19 measures and protocols, which will come into effect from 5 a.m. on January 7th to February 28, 2022. First, a permit is required for gatherings and social activities, including public beaches of more than 50 people and up to a maximum of 500 persons. Honorable Robinson said though the maximum is 500, the ministry has the prerogative to decide any number between 50 or 500 that it will allow, given the current global circumstance. The second measure that will be extended is the bi-weekly, every 2 weeks tested of frontline staff, including the teachers. Only those who have received booster shots or have been fully vaccinated within the last 3 months will be exempted. Cabinet has also approved amendments to the public and environmental health regulations, power to quarantine. These will be in effect from January 14, 2022. The quarantine period for vaccinated persons has been reduced to 7 days if the individual is asymptomatic after day 5 of isolation and provides 2 antigen tests taken 24 hours apart on days 6 and 7 of isolation. Close contacts and their household will still be required to quarantine for 10 days after their last exposure to COVID-19. There may be a consideration for early release if individuals are asymptomatic after day 5 of isolation and provide a negative LFD test on day 7. Finally, unvaccinated persons, their contacts, and household will still be required to quarantine for 14 days after the last exposure to COVID-19 if they are not medically evacuated by air ambulance. Law enforcement officers are on their toes these last few weeks as the country records a number of shooting incidents, some fatal. We dive deeper into this latest crime spike.
December 28th, December 29th, and December 30th. Significant days for 3 families who will either visit the hospital recovery room or not see their sons, brothers, fathers into the new year altogether, to the hands of reckless, gun-wielding criminals. Law enforcement has in the last week, apart from a number of robberies that have taken place, launched 2 murder and 3 shooting investigations on 3 consecutive days, just days before the new year. On Tuesday night, a 39-year-old man was gunned down in front of the Zap Zap bar in Q-Town's dockyard, where a woman lay bleeding from gunshot wounds in a vehicle just feet away. A day later on Wednesday, another man injured from a gunshot wound in front of a Five Keys business establishment was rushed to hospital to be treated, where he will most likely spend the New Year holiday away from his loved ones. And a third, accounting for the country's latest homicide as we close out the year. Police say they received a call around 6 a.m. this morning and reported to Daco Yard along Millennium Highway, where the lifeless body of a man was found with what appeared to be gunshot wounds. Persons in the area say they heard gunshots at around 9 p.m. the night before. It is studied that annually crime spikes during the holiday season, mostly due to emptier homes and fuller cash registers. Where celebrations increase, alcohol consumption is higher and inhibitions are lower, coupled with financial stress and pressure to provide during the holiday, which creates a perfect storm for holiday crime. While these crimes are being actively investigated and no motives have been released, persons are asked to remain vigilant and remain indoors where possible. If you have any information on these crimes, you are asked to call 911 or leave tips anonymously at 1-800-8477.
It's time for a quick break. When we return, more News Watch.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
The Center for Disease Control is advising that people avoid cruise travel regardless of their vaccination status. Details in this story.
The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is advising Americans to avoid cruise travel, regardless of their vaccination status for COVID-19. The warning comes just 2 weeks after the Turks and Caicos Islands reopened its cruise industry this December, to what promises to be a robust season. The latest guidance from the CDC says even fully vaccinated travelers may be at risk for getting and spreading the COVID-19 variants. It adds, quote, "The virus that causes COVID-19 spreads easily between people in close quarters on board ships, and the chance of getting COVID-19 on cruise ships is very high, even if you are fully vaccinated and have received a COVID-19 vaccine booster dose," end quote. The guidance comes during the latest surge of the Omicron coronavirus variant and after outbreaks on several cruise ships. If traveling on a cruise ship, the CDC says passengers should be fully vaccinated before travel and to get a booster dose if eligible. Testing 1 to 3 days before a cruise and 3 to 5 days after returning from a trip are also recommended, regardless of vaccination status or symptoms. The latest guidance also suggests self-quarantine for a full day after cruise travel for cruise passengers who are not fully vaccinated. Anyone traveling on a cruise ship should wear a mask, maintain social distance of 6 feet from other travelers indoors and outdoors, wash hands or use sanitizer often, Avoid contact with anyone who is sick and avoid touching eyes, nose, and mouth. Anyone with COVID-19 symptoms should stay in their cabins and notify the onboard medical center immediately. For PTV News Watch, I'm Delana Als.
Coming up, we take a look at some notables that were addressed during the Q&A session of that health update, including the decision to broaden the age scope for COVID testing. Here's a look.
Vaccinated frontline workers will now return to the testing drawing board after Minister of Health Honorable Jamel Robinson announces that bi-weekly testing for these persons will recommence in another 2 weeks.
January 14th, all frontline workers, including teachers, we specifically said including teachers, so frontline workers from a government standpoint and a hospitality standpoint will be mandated to at least do bi-weekly testing. The only exemption would be if they were boosterized or they recently, within the last 3 months, would have gotten their second shot. So the rationale there is, even though you're vaccinated, the vaccination wanes, or the potency of the vaccination wanes over time. So again, we're balancing risk there. So persons who haven't gotten their booster shot from January 14 onward, every 2 weeks they'll have to take a test.
Since scientists have spoken on the efficacy of the booster shot, which has been tested at its highest within the first 10 weeks after the shot, and health organizations in various nations pushing for a fourth booster, Honorable Robinson, when asked about the future of a fourth shot for the TCI, said with such slow progress in this initial booster rollout, a fourth shot is not up for consideration at the moment.
We're now in the process of our booster program being rolled out. So I can't get to the point to say, well, are we going to do a fourth? Those countries are well in advance of us. For example, I believe the UK has a boosterization rate of like 57%. We're still at 13%. So a lot of our persons who've been vaccinated over the last year hasn't even gotten their booster yet. So we're just in the process of getting persons their booster shot. So that's the push now, to increase those numbers across the board. So yes, we can look into the future and try to pre-plan, but we're literally in the process of what we're dealing with now, because by the time we get to, let's say, a fourth booster shot, maybe in 6 months or whatever the case may be, COVID could be done. We don't know.
However, the Minister of Health says it will, of course, remain under review. Officials also announced that children as young as the age of 2 will now be required to undergo COVID-19 testing as numbers in younger persons begin to rise.
From Friday, the 14th of January, 2022, lowering mandatory testing to 2 years old and above for visitors arriving and unvaccinated returning residents to the TCI.
We also learned that review of the vaccination for children ages 5 to 11 is in its active stages and could roll out shortly.
We'll be right back when we return your weather forecast. Sister Craft Market Souvenir Shop. Come and visit us for your travel keepsakes, keychains, artwork, t-shirts, clothing, jewelry, and many more. We're located at the Lower Bight gas station in Providenciales, and you can contact us at 649-341-3070. That's 649-341-3070. Sister Craft Market and Souvenir Shop.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome back to News Watch. Here's the latest in your weather forecast. Here's your 3-day weather forecast. For the nation's capital, Grand Turk, on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, high 81, low 74, winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. On Sunday, mostly sunny skies, high 81, low 75, winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. On Monday, mostly sunny skies, high 81, low 75, winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For South Caicos on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, high 80, low 74, winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. On Sunday, mostly sunny skies, high 81, low 75, winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. On Monday, mostly sunny skies, high 81, low 75, winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. For North and Middle Caicos on Saturday, partly cloudy skies, high 82, low 75, winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. On Sunday, mostly sunny skies, high 82, low 75, winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. On Monday, partly cloudy skies, high 81, low 75, winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For Parrot and Pine Key on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, high 81, low 75, winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. On Sunday, mostly sunny skies, high 81, low 75, winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. On Monday, partly cloudy skies, high 81, low 74, winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And on Providenciales on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, high 81, low 75, winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. On Sunday, mostly sunny skies, high 81, low 75, winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. On Monday, partly cloudy skies, high 81, low 74, winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now for your sunrise and sunset. Sunrise 6:29 a.m., sunset 5:19 p.m. And for your high tides and low tides, high tides 5:57 a.m., 6:23 p.m., and low tides 12:26 a.m., 12:26 p.m. And that's it for your weather forecast. We'll be right back with more News Watch.
Here at People's Television, we're more than just your leading news and entertainment services. We are
spreading the gospel.
We are breaking barriers.
We are preserving the culture. Each one, teach one.
We are committed to excellence.
We're creating change.
We are creating memories.
We are the future.
I am PTV.
I am PTV. I am PTV.
I am PTV.
We are PTV.
We are continuing the legacy. We are PTV.
Cortez Simmons will again face a jury of his peers for allegedly killing Keziah Burke in 2013. Hear the details of the upcoming retrial in this report.
Curtis Simmons, accused of killing 25-year-old Keziah Burke in April of 2013, is being retried for the young father's murder. Simmons appeared in court on December 20th to plead to the charge of murder before Judge Tanya Lubbock Jackson in the Providenciales Supreme Court. He was represented at that hearing by attorney Lara Maroof-Mizek. In November 2017, the Court of Appeal Justices, who presented a swift judgment in quashing the conviction after reviewing written submissions, were however not sold on the argument for acquittal, and instead ordered that Simmons be retried. But it was also evident that the 2013 murder of the young father was not resolved to the satisfaction of the appeals court, as the judges wasted little time in rejecting the guilty verdict of 11 of the 12 jurors and a subsequent life sentence by the then Chief Justice. Simmons was first convicted on March 25, 2015, after an intense 3 weeks and 3 days trial. He was first sentenced to life in prison by former Chief Justice Margaret Ramsey Hale, following the verdict by the 12-member jury, of which 11 of them found him guilty of murder and 1 not guilty. Following that verdict, Special Prosecutor Evan Welch told the press that he did not think it was a sure win, as the case was built on circumstantial evidence. Burke was shot multiple times and killed on April 13, 2013, at the Uncle Doe's Bar on Airport Road in Providenciales. For PTV News Watch, I'm Delana Iles.
That brings us to the end of this edition of The Real News. I hate to leave you so soon, but of course, you can join us right back here every weekday at 6:30 p.m. and tap into our social media platforms at www.ptv8tci.com. I'm Erica Pinales, wishing you a happy holidays, keeping you informed, updated, and affiliated until next time.